Hello, hello. Welcome in to A to Z Sports Prime Time here on a Tuesday night. It is December 3rd, and the Tennessee Titans are 3-9. Sam Phelan coming at you in place of Buck Rising, as always, here on Tuesday nights on A to Z Sports. Going to talk a little bit of Titans, talk a little bit of Will Levis. Titans quarterback going in the right direction. The team may be going in the wrong direction. Organizationally, coaching wise, people starting to take a real long, hard look at Brian Callahan, the coaching staff, Ran Carthon, a 3-9 football team that is a disaster, that got embarrassed by the Washington Commanders on Sunday, and yet a young quarterback who continues to stack good performances and seems to be trending in the right direction. Nate Samuel says, watch the Levis tape breakdown. And he's back in on Levis all of a sudden. If you've seen the tape going around, James Foster clipped up a few of Levis's best plays over the last few weeks. And hence why we are sitting here today talking about Will Levis and what it means for the Titans moving forward, what it might mean for them in 2025. Then we'll break down a few of the negatives. Some of the things going the wrong direction, some of the big problems the Titans have to fix and are scrambling to fix here with just a little over a month to go in the regular season. We'll get to a former Titan in Texans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair, suspended by the NFL today. We'll talk about that suspension, get the reaction from Azeez, get the reaction from Nick Caserio, Texans general manager. We'll see what you all feel about the suspension. I've seen some people pretty torn in the NFL world about, whether this was too harsh from the league or not. And wrap it up with Gone Viral. Robert has a documentary trailer that I have not seen, that I am completely blind to, that I'm excited for, and then I will be bringing something very near and dear to my heart in the world of Major League Baseball to all of you to rant just a little bit here. So let's go ahead. Let's do it officially. Make sure before we jump in here, share the show, like the show. If you're watching on Facebook, hit the share button in the bottom right corner. Make sure you spread the word that A to Z Sports is live here on Prime Time, that I am talking Titans, that we're having a good Will Levis conversation. So hit the share button, retweet us on Twitter or X, and get it out on the timeline as well. But welcome in A to Z Sports Prime Time, not in the Zen Sports studios tonight, and I'm not Buck Rising, but Sam Phelan here with you on Tuesday nights now through the rest of the 2024 NFL season, presented to you as always by Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, or online at tworiversford.com for more information. Zen Sports, that's your place to bet if you want to back the Titans against the Jaguars. The Jags coming to town, probably a Trevor Lawrence-less Jaguars, thanks to Azeez Al-Shaair, coming to Nashville next weekend. If you're trying to back the Titans and the trend that Will Levis is showing, you can use the promo code ATOZTN in the Zen Sports app. And if you're in need of a new workout plan, TrueMav Fitness is the place for you. No workout is ever recycled or repeated at TrueMav. They're located in the Gulch. You can go to TrueMavFitness.com for more information. Nolan coming in saying Levis has worked on his pocket presence, but Rand has to get him a better right tackle. I think there's a lot of things that the Titans need to do better around Will Levis. But if you watch the game on Sunday, I think it's pretty safe to say that Sunday's loss to the Commanders was not a Will Levis problem. Will Levis hardly got to play in this football game, and it was 28-0 Washington. And the Titans got back into the game largely because Levis played them back into the game. Levis had a couple of exceptional plays that got the Titans back in it. I've kind of talked a lot about Levis on this show because I find the dynamic with Levis and the Titans very interesting. We all came away from his rookie season feeling relatively optimistic. A promising young quarterback is what Titans owner Amy Adams Strunk called Will Levis in this offseason. You add an offensive head coach in Brian Callahan, a guy who has a good history working with quarterbacks, you would think the trajectory is going to continue in the right direction. Major setbacks at the beginning of the year. I don't believe this offense was fully fleshed out at all. Levis was trying to do a little bit too much. He then has some incremental marginal improvements, an injury against Miami. He misses some time. I think at that point, almost everybody was out, was ready to see Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward or even a bridge quarterback. And then Levis comes back. And the idea is you now have an opportunity, an audition to prove that you can be the guy. We are 4 weeks into that audition, and Will Levis has looked solid to very, very good in all 4. It has not always been linear. There's been some peaks and some valleys in that 4-game stretch, but 4 weeks in a row of serviceable and good quarterback play that you can win with. He's got 960 passing yards over the last 4 games. That is top 10 in the league. He has 7 passing touchdowns. That is top 10 in the league. He has a quarterback rating over 100. It is top 10 in the league, 6th in the league, matter of fact. He is 2nd in yards per attempt. In numbers like expected play or EPA per dropback, he's top 10 in the league. Exceptional throw rate, top 10 in the league. Will Levis is playing very good football, and it's not going unnoticed. Here's head coach Brian Callahan talking about 4 good weeks in a row for the Titans' young QB.
Yeah, I think he did some really positive things again. He stacked really 4 weeks now of growth and good football. I thought he made a couple really fantastic plays. And again, when you're dropping back that many times with that kind of deficit, you're getting everybody's best stuff. You're getting their best rushes, they're getting their best pressure. And I thought he did a nice job of trying to keep fighting through the game and finding completions. Still got things to work on, but I'm very positive on the things that he did in the game throughout the course of it that showed that he's still growing and still getting better. And again, there's plenty of things that he's got to keep continuing to improve on, and some things that we can keep manufacturing in practice to help him, particularly with the pocket and some of the escapes in the pocket where we're not taking 1-yard sacks. We're getting on the perimeter and maybe making some plays or getting a chance to extend it. So those things are things we'll continue to hammer. But yeah, certainly a good enough performance by Will given the circumstances.
Good enough performance by Will given the circumstances. You hear Brian Callahan there bring up, hey, Will has done a lot of very good things. Still some things to work on, which nobody's denying. Will Levis needs to be better with his pocket presence. But we did see some improvements, marginal improvements, but some improvements in that area last week against the Commanders. He only took 2 sacks. He threw the ball away a good number of times. It was the ideas that Brian Callahan has been trying to instill in him of, hey, you roll out, nobody's there. Will Levis had one that he just spiked straight into the ground. And that is exactly what we want to see, what we need to see from Will Levis moving forward. But I think a lot of the things that he struggled with, he has also gradually gotten better at, like turnovers. 2 of the last 4 games, Will Levis has not turned the football over. That was the number one story earlier in the year. He's been able to create explosive plays, do some exceptional plays, limit the turnovers for the most part. Sacks have been an issue now. And now you're slowly starting to see some of those improvements as well. And I think there's a good reason for Brian Callahan to be encouraged. Here are some of the numbers that I'm referring to. So we see week 1 to week 6. These are Will Levis's numbers when he was either playing early on or playing injured in week 6. Then the right half of that graphic, and I know this is a lot of information to digest, so bear with me, is Will Levis over the last 4 weeks. Look at all the green associated with Will Levis's rank in the league. Look at all of the green on the right side. The only red is the completion percentage against Washington, 48.6%. But if you watch that game, 5-6 drops largely contributed to that completion percentage being so low and not up over 60%. Twice his completion percentage has been at 75% or greater. 3 games with multiple touchdown passes. 2 games with no turnovers. Turnover-worthy plays, he has been 11th, 10th, and 4th 3 weeks in a row, dropped to 24th this past week. The improvement is real. The improvement is substantial. And if this is the version of Will Levis that we see for the next, how many games would it be now? Through 3-9, you've got 5 left. 5 more games of Will Levis doing that. You're going to start to feel a lot better about where he can be. Karen says it. Lots of green. Jay says earlier, at worst, he's a top 20 QB. At worst. Absolutely deserves to be especially since he keeps getting better and better, deserves to be a starter from Jay. I don't think that's crazy to say right now that Will Levis is around the 20th best quarterback in the league. He's actually playing like a top 10 quarterback in many areas. And so it brings us to our first question here tonight. Agree or disagree? It's fair to say that Will Levis will be the Titans starting quarterback in 2025. Do you agree or disagree with that statement? Will Levis will be the Titans starting quarterback in 25. We can already make that assumption right now. Is that fair? I think it is absolutely fair. I think with what Will Levis has started to show, with as bad as things have been around him for his team, I don't think it is too early to say that. We'll get to what you guys have to say in the chat. Before we do it, going to tell all of you about somebody who will be around this year, somebody who will be around in 2025, somebody who will be the future here in Tennessee. Two Rivers Ford. Two Rivers Ford is the South's most trusted Ford dealer. Everywhere I go, I see a Ford Bronco on the road. They're all over with soft tops, hard tops, Big Bends, heritage styles, and white tops, black diamonds, Raptors, you name it. There's so many options, color combos, and packages and trim levels, which is why the Two Rivers Ford team is inviting you to come and get to know the Ford Bronco. This is an open invite. You don't need to be in the market for a vehicle, shopping for a vehicle to come and check it out. They have a team of Bronco experts on hand to introduce you to the Ford Bronco, answer questions, and let you test drive. And they don't work on commission. They're just there to educate you, answer questions, and introduce you to a really cool vehicle. It's one of the reasons why people love doing business with Two Rivers Ford and why they are the South's most trusted Ford dealer. So go see my friends at Two Rivers Ford in Mount Juliet, just 7 miles east of the airport, and get to know the Ford Bronco. Two Rivers Ford is your Ford Bronco headquarters. I made the statement. It's fair to say Will Levis is going to be the Titans quarterback in 2025. Agree or disagree? Dylan agrees. Gene agrees. Karen agrees. Major Keys says, fair, duh, who else do they have? Well, Major Keys, it's not about who they have. It's about who they might have. They're free agents. There's a draft. Those are the options. I'm not suggesting that it's going to be somebody on the roster right now that's going to be their quarterback in 2025. Tom thinks it's too early, but Jake says 100% fair. Katie says agree. Paul says agree. Nolan says agree, but maybe a little bit too early. Cole says fair. We plan on sucking for Manning. I think a lot of Titans fans are looking ahead and hoping next year's another bottom out year, which would just be miserable to watch. I don't want that to happen. I know we want Arch Manning, but I don't want to watch another year of the Titans bottoming out. I don't want to do that. It's better for everybody, the organization included, if Will Levis is the guy. I don't think that's I don't think that's outlandish to say. Agree from LaMarquez. Agree from Chef Ran, but they better have a good backup. Lane says agreed, because a rookie would be worse. There's a couple of reasons why I think it is not too early, and I think it's totally fair to say right now that Will Levis is your starting quarterback in 2025. Number one is just how he's playing. What he's doing with this audition opportunity is earning the job, is making himself the guy for next year. I don't know if Will Levis is the future of this team. We have to see how he progresses. But I definitely think he has shown me enough and shown Rand Carthon and Brian Callahan and Amy Adams Strunk enough that it's too early for them to give up on him. I also have a hard time seeing the Titans be in a position to pick anybody else. Let me go to tankathon.com real quick. The Titans are currently slated with the 7th overall pick in the draft. At 3-9, they were supposed to pick right around where they picked last year. And they still have 2 games with Jacksonville. They still have a game with the Colts that could be winnable. They have a game with the 4-8 Cincinnati Bengals. I don't think it's crazy to think the Titans could finish at 5-12 and win 2 more games. You just got to go 2-3 down the stretch. If you go 2-3 down the stretch, you're not picking in the top 5. That's a guarantee. With as bad as Jacksonville, Vegas, New England, and the Giants are, you are not picking in the top 5 if you win 5 games. You're going to have to go 3-14 to be in the top 5. Maybe 4-13. Maybe one more win, you can get away with it. I think a combination of how Levis has played up to this point, the fact that he's earning another opportunity, earning an extended look, and the fact that you're not going to be in a position to draft a quarterback means that they're going to address something else. And oh, by the way, the third point here, you're going to need something else. Because as Levis is trending like this, so many other parts of this roster are trending down. The defensive effort we saw from the Titans in Washington was pitiful. The run stop, pitiful. Your inside linebacker play, pitiful. Your edge play, pitiful. I know people love what Nick Westbrook-Akine is doing. I'm one of those people. I don't know if he'll be back next year. He's getting ready to go be a free agent and go get paid. You might need a wide receiver to pair with Calvin Ridley and give Will another weapon. I've talked before, I would like to see them get a vertical threat tight end. That's actually a factor in the offense. You need a right tackle. Might need a right guard. You've got a lot of issues, safety, that need to be addressed. Earlier in the year, everybody was looking at the Titans saying the Titans have a Will Levis problem. I'm looking at it now and saying Will Levis has a Titans problem. And there potentially is no better example than the punt return issues. Because how in the world have we not fixed this yet? This is the exact same movie that we watched with Kyle Phillips that we're now watching again with Jaquan Jackson. 6th round draft pick, middle of the road slot receiver in college, not all that impressive on offense. You like what he can do, shifty. Kyle Phillips, honestly, way shiftier than Jaquan Jackson is as a receiver. But really praised for his punt return abilities. That's what you draft him for. And kick return abilities. In a league year where returners mean more than they ever have. And he can't hold on to the ball. Brian Callahan says Titans are exploring every option to figure out what the heck to do at punt returner.
Can you explain what it is about punt returning, kick returning that is such a specialized skill in your eyes? You've alluded a couple of times to not anybody can just go back there and do it.
Catching punts is challenging. And then catching punts with a live coverage coming at you is a whole nother piece of the game. There's also a mentality that most returners have to have because those guys those are big collisions. There's a bit of fearlessness, and it's just not for everybody. Just because a guy's good with the ball in his hand doesn't mean he can feel the punts, judge the punts, and then still be able to transition and get vertical at field full speed versus a full speed cover. It is a skill. It's a unique skill that I don't think just every player is capable of. I mean, you watch guys try to catch punts. It can look pretty ugly sometimes, and the catching of the punts first and foremost, you got to make sure you secure the football, and then the return part of it's the next part. So need to get more out of that phase than we've gotten, and again, you got to be able to hang on to the football on top of it.
Is there a plan to bring somebody in and test out free agents at that position, or do you want to?
Yeah, that's all on the table. Yep.
Is there a reason Mason an option? Mason Keithley?
Yep, Mason is an option. Obviously, he's done it before. I've seen him doing training camp, but he's played in games. And so, yeah, he's certainly an option. And we'll look at all of them.
What went wrong?
Mason Kinsey, the internal option for the Titans, but external options not out of the question either. Everything is on the table, including some free agents. I looked. Richie James was a name that popped up as an experienced punt returner. Was with the Chiefs last year, who is still a free agent right now. Ronnie Bell, the second-year wide receiver out of Michigan, is a free agent. Recently was released by the San Francisco 49ers. He's got limited punt return experience in the league. Not out of the question for the Titans. Do I think they'll end up signing somebody? No, I think it'll end up being Kinsey at returner. But yeah, they got issues. And it's another example of questionable judgment from Brian Callahan, from Colt Anderson, from Rand Carthon, across the board, which makes me say loudly, the Titans are trending down as an organization while somehow their young quarterback is trending upwards. Moving on from the Titans to a former Titan and a big NFL story around the league. It is former Titans inside linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair, suspended by the NFL 3 games for the hit he delivered to Jaguars quarterback Trevor Lawrence. And then Al-Shaair today appealing his 3-game suspension by the NFL, which will be heard and by one of the appeals officers, Derek Brooks, Kevin Mawai, Jordy Nelson, or Ramon Foster. Maybe going to hear that appeal from Azeez Al-Shaair. Here is the hit in question on Trevor Lawrence on Sunday.
No, there's no doubt that Trevor represents them well. And oh my, that'll be Al-Shaair who's flagged for the big hit on the slide, and that's going to start a little bit of a scrum afterwards as the Jaguars come in to protect their QB.
Launch. You raise the forearm, you go to the head and neck.
So that was what warranted this 3-game suspension. And Azeez obviously appealing, and Texans general manager Nick Caserio made a big deal in his press conference today, feeling like this was too harsh from the NFL. A lot of stuff here, but Texans GM, very fired up.
With, I would say, as a team and organizationally, is a picture that's been painted of Azeez. Quite frankly, it's unfair.
Video is failing to play. We'll try it one more time.
With, I would say, as a team and organizationally, is a picture that's been painted of Azeez. Quite frankly, it's unfair. And I'd say one of the biggest issues that, and I probably speak for a lot of teams, not only the Houston Texans, but I think that's all teams ask for is consistency from the league. And I'd say in this situation, I mean, quite frankly, there's no consistency at all relative to the level of discipline that's been handed down. So when you go back, let's look at this season. Okay, we had multiple situations, multiple examples. All right, 2 really good players, I would say. Branch ejected against Green Bay, right? Plays the next week against us. Okay, Derwin ejected, all right, got suspended for 1 game. And Derwin's a great player, and Derwin's had some other situations that have come up. And I'd say even going back here, a player that we know well organizationally here, Kareem Jackson. Kareem's a good player. Was ejected, fined, ejected, fined, ejected, and then suspended after 3 games. So we're going to say Azeez Al-Shaair, who nobody embodies our program more than Azeez. What he's about, what he's been through. You all know his story. There's not a more selfless individual, more about the team who's earned the respects, that represents everything that we want this program to be about. I mean, this morning he was at a United Way event. So we're talking about some of the commentary that has been made about his character, about the person that he is, about what his intentions are, from people that, quite frankly, don't know anything about Azeez Al-Shaair, okay? And for the league to make some of the commentary that they made about lack of sportsmanship, lack of coachability, lack of paying attention to the rules, quite frankly, it's embarrassing. So I think the big thing from our – and they're talking about a player who's never been suspended, never been ejected. So now we're saying that he's going to be suspended for 3 games? So – look, it is what it is. I think the big thing from our standpoint, and all teams want this, is just some level of consistency. And we've talked to the league, quite frankly, but we don't have a good explanation. D'Amico talked to them yesterday. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm sure Azeez will go through whatever process he's going to go through, and then we'll deal with it accordingly. But I think what we take umbrage is just the picture that's been painted about Azeez, his intentions, who he is as a person. I mean, quite frankly, it's bullshit. And it's unfair to the individual. It's unfair to the organization. I mean, we love everything about Azeez Al-Shaair, what he means to this team, what he brings to this team. He was elected a captain after being here for 4 months. So, again, like, we have a lot of respect for our opponents. We have a lot of respect for other teams in this league. We want to do things the right way. I think D'Amico's explanation about the situation from a defensive perspective yesterday, well, quite frankly, was spot on. You know, it's a tough situation. Again, it's an unfortunate.
You get the picture. You get the point. Nick Caserio, not very happy, thinks this is too harsh, defending his guy. I ask you in the chat, weigh in, fair or foul, the 3-game suspension to former Titans linebacker Azeez Al-Shaair for the hit on Trevor Lawrence. Fair or foul, the NFL 3-game suspension for Azeez. While you guys let me know, I will let you know about my friend Gary Ashton. Gary Ashton, the official realtor of the Nashville Predators. Don't sell without the intel. Get your dream address without the stress and the intel that you need to succeed, all with the official realtor of the Nashville Predators, Gary Ashton. Visit GaryAshton.com for more information. So I ask you, is this fair or foul? 3 games for Azeez. Fair from Richie. Foul, it should be more from Jill. Fair, dude almost killed a quarterback. Fair, Jody says foul. MB says he's not exactly wrong. The comments have been excessive. And I can agree with that. I to be honest, I haven't been super online to read some of this discourse. I don't know all that is being said of Azeez. I can imagine what the internet is like and imagine people are taking things out of proportion. But William Joe says foul. Cody says foul. It was overreach for a first violation of this kind. Timeout, because that right there is why this is absolutely fair. This is not the first violation for Azeez Al-Shaair. Exhibit A, week 2 of this year against the Chicago Bears. A quarterback very clearly going out of bounds. Al-Shaair comes in full speed, pops the QB, gets into a fight afterwards. One more time.
Al-Shaair's right in the face of Darnell Wright of the Bears, and a whole bunch of Bears over there on their sideline.
And let's get a closer look at that little sideline interaction. Let's see how Azeez handled himself.
No flag was thrown on the play. They cannot create a foul for that punch. That will have to come during the week through discipline. No foul can be called here by New York.
Wow. Huge break.
So he hits Caleb Williams late, a quarterback who's clearly giving himself up. He then runs to the sideline, punches a Bears player in the face. No penalties. Azeez is not disciplined. He's fined afterwards, but he's not disciplined in the game on the field. Well, what about later in the year? This is against the Titans and Tony Pollard just last week. Watch Azeez, running back clearly out of bounds, and he pops him. Nicholas Petit-Frere not happy, and he shouldn't be. One more time. Dirty hit. Dirty hit. Running back's way out of bounds. Play is over. But this is not just this year. Let's go back to his 49ers days.
Well, Tom Brady didn't love this as he's Al-Shaair on the pressure and then kind of got him right there. And then Brady talking to Brad Allen, our referee, says, hey, you got the chokehold. Now, Mike Pereira says it was enforceable, so it was a gentle chokehold.
If there is such a thing.
I think.
Chokes Tom Brady, hits Caleb Williams late, punches a player on the sideline, hits Tony Pollard late out of bounds, hits Trevor Lawrence, leads with his forearm.
You raise the forearm, you go to the head and neck.
Leading into the quarterback's neck and head area, then gets into another fight and tries to fight the Jaguars the entire time he's on the sideline. This is fair. Suspend Azeez Al-Shaair. This guy's a dirty player. This is what he does. I've seen it enough times. I don't know what happened. This is not who he was when he was on the Titans. We rarely saw this kind of behavior. And I get Nick Caserio's point of view. I think I think Aziz is an all right dude. I think he's a good guy. I'm sure the Texans love having him in the building. I'm sure he's well liked by his teammates. I'm sure he's all about the team. I'm sure he, is a good leader. All of those things can be true, and he can still play very dirty between the lines, which is also true, which is why the NFL suspension was not only fair, but needed and justified. I honestly can't understand. Like, this stuff is out of football for a reason. We have taken it out of football to protect players. And if you are going to, I'm not interested in getting into the semantics of it about, did Trevor slide a little bit too late? Was Caleb's foot technically out of bounds? He had clearly pulled up, was clearly giving himself up. There is a reason that we teach quarterbacks, hey, run out of bounds, give yourself up, slide, do all of those things. It doesn't matter if you've got guys like Aziz flying around trying to knock him out cold and then punching teammates afterwards. He should have been suspended after he punched the Roschon Johnson. He should have been suspended after he hit Tony Pollard. Now he's suspended because it's Trevor Lawrence, and it finally had repercussions. Caleb Williams didn't get hurt. Roschon Johnson didn't get hurt. Tony Pollard didn't get hurt. Now that there's actual consequences of Aziz's actions in the form of Trevor Lawrence getting injured and taken out of the game, now all of a sudden, we're going to punish him. It's honestly too late, but it's justified. So, yeah, maybe I don't know why I'm on my high horse about it, but I am. All right, let's move on. Gone viral. I have something for Robert. Robert has something for me. And let's see. I don't think Robert's seen what I'm going to present him, and I definitely haven't seen his. So, Bert, are you with me here?
Oh, yeah, I'm in here. What's going on, man? What you got for me?
How we doing? All right. Well, mine does not come in video format. Mine comes strictly from, oh, by the way, sorry to rehash because I forgot to bring this up. Aziz Al-Shaair's apology for the hit on Trevor Lawrence, the worst apology I've ever seen in my life.
Right. He'd be like backtracked the whole time. Look,
I got 2 pages of notes app. He says the word sorry or apologize once, and it is, to Trevor, I genuinely apologize to you for what ended up happening.
I'm sorry your feelings got hurt.
Right. Hey, Robert, you really upset me and hurt me. You treated me like crap. That's not what friends should do. Man, I'm sorry you feel that way. You're not apologizing for your actions whatsoever. That made it so much worse for me. Are you kidding me?
What a goober.
I just had to say that. All right, no video, but I did see this today, and I just had to get a good rant out of it because are you a baseball fan, Robert?
No, but I know what you're going to talk about now.
Okay.
But please, let's talk about it.
I am a baseball super fan, diehard. I prefer baseball to football. Don't kill me in the chat, but that's my day one sport. That's what I grew up playing and loving, so it has a special place in my heart. Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred says today that there is buzz about adding a golden at-bat rule to Major League Baseball. This rule would allow a team to choose one at-bat in every game to use their best hitter regardless of where they're at in the lineup. Excuse me?
What's the point of lineups, man? What are we doing? Come on.
I'm sorry. Are we going to add the NFL now? You can just be like, actually, we get the ball now at any point that you want. No, matter of fact, Patrick Mahomes gets the ball back. I mean, this is crazy. Rob Manfred is a bad commissioner and has been a bad commissioner. How he handled the COVID situation with the league, allowing that year to just go on, get delayed. The impending lockout that is going to come when the CBA is up once again, that is absolutely coming, and I'm dreading it. Little stuff like this. I was all for the pitch clock. I'm all for bigger bases. I was even for banning the shift. Let's evolve the game a little bit to make the fans happy. Nobody wants to see a golden at-bat rule. Nobody wants – that's not part of baseball. This is genuinely breaking the game and making it a different sport that it's not.
I I don't disagree with you, but I think this opens up a wormhole to create any kind of rules that we would like. I would like to institute the golden pitcher, which is where instead of being golden, like you get to choose who it is, it's like golden, like The Bachelor. So the manager of the team has to pitch that next at bat.
The golden pitcher, it's
right,
a random season ticket holder from the stands that's over the age of 50, and if they get the batter out, it's an automatic win.
Let's just give the people in the outback or the outfield. Let's just give them jetpacks. Why not?
But you're seriously though, like this is obviously not that extreme, but like it is opening a really weird precedent for. Why don't we add the golden strikeout, where at any point in the game you can make it a declaration that you're using your golden strikeout, and if you strike out the batter, it counts as a run. Like that I feel like is in the same vein, and it's stupid, and it's just as stupid.
You know who's loving all of this? The Savannah Bananas. They're like, yes, Rob Manfred, keep coming up with this stupid shit. We love it. Like, come on,
dude. Banana Ball has never been more back. Like they are, and I like what the Bananas do is great, but it is also entertainment, not baseball.
It has its place. Not the highest level of competition in the sport. Instituting this rule that would have to be heralded within like T-ball. You'd immediately change the game for anyone who's going to play it.
Let's change the NBA, and windmill dunks are now worth 5 points, and we're just going to do like weird stuff. Like, come on, man. I don't think this will happen because I like to believe that most of the people within baseball still have a brain and wouldn't like vote for this to pass. But Rob Manfred, oh my gosh. All right, what do you got for me? I heard there's some documentary we got to take a look at here.
That's right. So Netflix is literally buying the rights to anyone's life story. If you have a comedy special, if you know someone who's selling property in a semi-decent area, Netflix will give you the opportunity to have a special on their network, and Aaron Rodgers is no different from them. He decided he was going to capitalize off the good nature of his name and came out with a documentary called Enigma. The Aaron Rodgers story. It's going to be on Netflix. You want to watch the trailer first, or you have any initial thoughts?
No, I need a trailer. I think I need a trailer. I have expectations, but let's see what this trailer is talking about.
I live between two worlds of the extroverted
1, 2, 3, dominate!
And an introverted lover of silence. I'm trying to beat back Father Time and the expectations.
Aaron Rodgers ain't for everybody.
Rodgers has shared controversial and crazy conspiracy theories.
It just feels like you're either for him or against him.
Losing friendships, family, it was heartbreaking.
Here come the Jets. Rodgers has something to prove. It is on. Protection breaks. Down goes Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers has officially tore his Achilles.
It's catastrophic.
Is it time for him to retire?
What does the future hold for Aaron Rodgers?
I'm coming back to do it all.
What's the risk of playing?
That's not normal. People getting to see behind the curtain.
Have you thought about going into politics?
Once I started my spiritual journey, everything shifted.
The metamorphosis is happening.
Most people are not doing the walking.
I'm not most people.
I'm trying to find what a new edge is. There's football legacy.
Rodgers, a touchdown!
And then there's character legacy.
It was gonna be the big dog with me!
When that ride comes to a stop, who are you gonna be?
So good. I'll be there. Consider me there.
Hey, I will be seated. You can get. I will be comfy. I will be popcorn. Wow.
I love my favorite cameo is RFK, who's like, "Have you ever thought about going into politics?"
I mean, I thought the beginning of the the trailer was crazy, but then we threw RFK in there. I mean, dude, that had everything.
I don't know if you're a Joe Rogan guy, but Mike Rowe was just on Joe Rogan. Mike Rowe, the host of Dirty Jobs, he used to be do all the toilet cleaning and all that. He said that RFK approached him about potentially being vice president. So who the hell was RFK talking to? Aaron Rodgers, Mike Rowe of Dirty Jobs. Who else was on the line to be the freaking vice president?
Those tickets I'm sure would have done well. I have so many thoughts. Number one, tremendous documentary idea. You did intro it by being like, oh, they'll do it on just about anything. I can't think of 10 things in the world I want a documentary on more than Aaron Rodgers. I find this fascinating. I will say, so much more dweeby when you consider the fact that the Jets suck. I mean, this year being an embarrassment. They made this documentary under the idea that the Jets are going to be pushing the playoffs. Aaron's going to be back, and it's going to be this whole hey, you think I'm weird. You think I'm this enigma, but look at my weird spiritual medicine, and look how it's working. The New York Jets are back, and he might be benched by the time this thing comes out, which is just going to be a tough look. I'd be way more excited if he was. I guess he's not playing horribly, but it's, the Jets are just a disaster right now.
It's not totally his fault, but he also threw a pick six to a 300-pound defensive lineman.
Yeah.
And it's come on. At some point, it is your fault. I don't like that he threw his teammates under the bus early in the season. They lost a game because Mike Williams didn't run the right route. And whether he did or didn't, you have so much equity in the league, you don't have to throw people under the bus. Just eat it. It's another loss to you. You know what I mean? But he is his own person, and he is definitely I would say, the most polarizing NFL player since Cam Newton.
I think definitely the most polarizing. I think he's also the most interesting NFL player, pound for pound right now, just in terms of his off the field life. People are invested in the life of Aaron Rodgers on and off the football field. So it makes sense for the documentary. I will 100% watch it. I will be very excited to watch it, but yeah, it becomes exponentially less cool when you figure that all of this Achilles return and him talking about I'll be back and I'll do it all is really him just talking about throwing 18 touchdowns and 12 picks for a 4-13 Jets team. And I'm going to be so back.
I feel like at the end of it, he's going to have to be the real success was the friends we made along the way.
Yeah.
And it's him and Devontae Adams having an embrace in the locker room. Thanks for coming to this shit show for me, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's his football legacy, and then he's and then he says character legacy, and it's just gonna be him and Devontae Adams being boys.
Chilling at the Taco Bell and Devontae Adams' house.
Downing, just being fellas.
Yeah, fucking dude. Oh, well, hey, there we go. I'm out of here. That's what I get for cussing. All right, appreciate going viral tonight.
See, I didn't even notice. I was
all right. Well, that's good. No one play it back. That's exactly how I cussed on the radio too, by the way, on accident. We've got plenty of end of show videos to choose from. Would you like to? I don't even want to tell you what they are. Would you like to see Noipel, Bama or Obama, or the Kite Child?
I like Bama or Obama. We'll see you guys later.
Particular, Cheddar Bangs says, pretty sure Levis is more important to the city than some Vols fan. I'm inclined to agree. Billy Jones says, as a Vol fan, I save my hate for Obama in Florida. I don't know why that's so funny. It's it's funny because the idea that I think anybody maybe except for Billy Jones, I think he means Bama.